So, zombies. That's something we've never done in a game before.
Never ever. I don't think there's been a game since the first Doom that had any zombies.
No, I mean
Here in, Bizarro world.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, but seriously, Dead Island.
Dead Island. He's played it.
I
I've
have.
looked a bit. I know you're quite a fan of the other Dead game.
Dead Rising?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how is this compared to that?
They're pretty much nothing alike, except for the fact they both have zombies and you can make weapons in both of them, but other than that, nothing at all. Dead Island is a sort of open world role-playing game, then not quite exactly, but something along those lines, mixed with a little bit of shooter and a little bit of melee combat, sort of like Condemned had back in the day. It's set on this place called Benoy, which is a holiday resort that for some reason has been overrun by zombies. It doesn't really go into the background. It doesn't deal a lot with the background story.
Not at all, really. Oh.
Yeah, no, you wake up in your hotel room and then everything's zombified. That's pretty much it. And then the basic game is about first getting to safety, getting some safe houses out where you're free from the zombie plague, and then trying to find a way out, pretty much.
Okay, so lots of shooting.
Not really. Actually, I think I was like 6 hours into the game before I found my first gun.
That
Yeah.
sounds a bit boring.
No. Well, yeah, you kick lots of ass with baseball bats and pickaxes and knives and paddles and pretty much anything you can find that's sort of like a weapon.
Now it's starting to sound like Dead Rising again. But
Yeah, but except that Dead Rising is third person and really, really silly, whereas Dead Island isn't silly at all, or at least not intentionally silly.
okay.
But yeah, 6 hours in before I got my first gun. And then guns are so rare that you I mostly only use them against either zombies that blow up when you shoot them because those kinds of zombies are there, or humans because you get to fight humans as well later on in the game.
So this plays more like an RPG or a shooter or what?
It has a lot of RPG elements in it. First of all, you have a level. You level up.
I like that.
Yeah, the weapons you have stats. Little numbers float when you damage somebody. There are skill trees, three of them. There are 4 different characters, and they raise their own sort of class. I played mainly the almost retired rapper, who's a tank sort of class, big heavy guy who uses blunt weapons. There's also like a small woman who's like really nimble and uses stabbing weapons, whatever. There's a guy who specializes in throwing stuff, and a woman who specializes in using guns.
It sounds like a good co-op game, actually. But
it is a very good co-op game. Okay. It's built for co-op, and you can tell that from the very beginning, down to the fact that some cutscenes play with all 4 characters in them. But yeah, it has 4-player co-op, and one of the things that's actually really well done about it is when you're playing and you're running around in some area, if someone else is playing this game and is in that sort of same area and is sort of the same progress to the game as you have, it pops up and says, "Hey, there's a player here. Hit left to play with him," and then you do, and boom, you're...
Okay, so even if you're playing a single-player game?
Yeah, you can switch to co-op anytime, and you players can, if you open your game up, people will join your game, or can join your game, anytime they want, pretty much. They get the same pop-up if they're near you. So it has drop-in, drop-out co-op, and if you go into a co-op game, you follow the other person's progress. So if you've done some quests that you haven't, you play those, but any quest you solve together will carry over to the single-player game.
Cool. Split screen?
No split screen. Online only.
That sucks. Ah, well. I saw you playing on the Xbox 360, and I've heard there's a lot of differences. I noticed a lot of pop-up on the Xbox version. Is it something you notice when you're playing the game? Or?
No, yeah, I mean, there's when you get to a new area, if occasionally, it plays pretty much as an open world game, but they're split into different areas of the island, and occasionally you go inside, like inside the hotel or down some sewers, and then it gets more linear and more levelly. So occasionally when you walk through a door there, you see that those low-res textures being loaded in and then replaced by higher-res textures. And if you're outside and you're going to an area where you haven't been in a while, it might take a little time for those detailed plants and stuff to show up, but it's not really a big deal. I mean, you notice it at first maybe, but then you get used to it. So it's no deal breaker or anything.
Okay. So you played both versions. Which one do you like the best, or what's the difference between the PC and the Xbox version?
The differences aren't that big actually. The graphics are nicer on PC, obviously. And normally you'll control the keyboard and mouse, but other than that, it's not like it doesn't feel like one of those games where everything was designed for console and then it doesn't really work on PC. It's not one of those games.
Okay.
The interface works pretty well on PC too. When you're selling stuff, which you are a lot, you get to pick up a lot of crap. You can only sell those items one at a time, so you have 10 of something, you have to go and click that, which is annoying. But other than that, the interface is actually pretty decent. Whether you're
developers take notice. We don't like that.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, there are no like major gameplay differences or anything. So more like pick whatever platform you prefer.
So if you have to sum up the whole Dead Island vacation,
it's different. It's certainly different. Not in a bad way at all. I mean, it started out a little slow for me, but after a couple of hours, or like an hour and a half maybe, it really picked up, in my opinion. No. And once it gets going, I thought it actually got really, really good. And I found myself sort of hurrying through the game because I had a deadline and all that, which meant I missed some stuff, and that bothered me. And I had a really hard time putting the game down. So that certainly speaks to the qualities of it, I think. So Dead Island, yeah, pretty good.